It's like the hat's in the way. And then I go, okay, baby. And I go,
Injections. I'm looking at several right here. I can't see. Bring him on, babe. Whoa.
See? I want to make sure I'm getting the red wine.
What? No, that's not how it works.
I can't have it now?
No, you're supposed to get it when you lose. Diane, you're supposed to get it when you lose.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Diane Keaton, a legend who left us shining. Last Saturday, October 11th, Hollywood lost one of its brightest and most authentic stars. Diane Keaton, at 79 years old, departed, leaving behind a legacy impossible to erase. But this is not a story about an ending. It's about a life that transformed cinema and inspired millions of people to be truly themselves. Born Diane Hall in Los Angeles in 1946, she was the oldest of 4 children. Her father was a civil engineer, and her mother was a homemaker who played piano and sang. Young Diane was drawn to the arts from an early age, participating in music and theater throughout her high school years in Santa Ana, California. She even played Blanche Dubois in A Streetcar Named Desire during high school, a role that would prove prophetic for her future career. After dropping out of college, she made the bold decision to move to New York to pursue acting professionally, choosing her mother's maiden name, Keaton, as her stage name. Who would have thought that young dreamer would become one of the most versatile actresses of all time? Leave a comment below and tell us which Diane Keaton project you liked the most. Are you enjoying this story about Diane Keaton? Then help the channel grow by subscribing. Look, 94.8% of the people who watch these videos are still not subscribed to the channel. If you're part of that group, take the chance and subscribe now. It's free, and that way you'll keep receiving amazing stories from TV shows we still miss a lot. Oh, and don't forget, at the end of the video, you'll find more stories like this one. Her journey began on Broadway in 1969 when she landed a role in the musical Hair. But it was her next Broadway production that would change her life forever. She was cast in Woody Allen's play, Play It Again, Sam. And during rehearsals, she and Allen began a romantic relationship that would profoundly influence both of their careers. Even after their romance ended, their creative partnership continued to produce some of the most memorable films in cinema history. Her big break in Hollywood came in 1972 when Francis Ford Coppola cast her as Kay Adams in The Godfather. That fragile yet determined woman, the girlfriend and later wife of Michael Corleone, played by Al Pacino, conquered the entire world. She reprised this role in The Godfather Part II in 1974, deepening the character and showing Kay's transformation from an innocent outsider to a woman trapped in the world of violence and power. Her performance in these films was understated yet powerful, providing the moral compass against which the Corleone family's actions were measured. But it was her encounter with Woody Allen on film that would change everything forever. After reprising her Broadway role in the 1972 film adaptation of Play It Again, Sam, she starred in Allen's science fiction comedy Sleeper in 1973 and his Russian literature spoof Love and Death in 1975. But nothing prepared the world for what came next. In 1977, Annie Hall not only gave her the Oscar for Best Actress, but revolutionized fashion and redefined what it meant to be a woman in Hollywood. The film was unconventionally structured, breaking the fourth wall and jumping through time, and Diane's performance as the quirky, neurotic, utterly charming Annie Hall was the heart that held it all together. With her men's suits, ties, hats and vests, Diane wasn't following trends, she was creating them. She dressed for herself, not for the male gaze, and showed women there were infinite ways to exist in the world. The Annie Hall look became a cultural phenomenon, with women everywhere adopting oversized blazers, wide-legged trousers, and menswear-inspired pieces. Diane maintained this distinctive style throughout her entire life, proving that true style is timeless and personal. Her collaboration with Allen continued with Interiors in 1978, a dramatic departure from their comedic work, and Manhattan in 1979, where she played a sophisticated intellectual opposite Allen's character. Then came Manhattan Murder Mystery in 1993, reuniting the pair after years apart and reminding audiences of their magical chemistry. In total, she appeared in 8 films directed by Woody Allen, creating an artistic partnership that remains one of the most celebrated in cinema history. Even when Allen faced controversy and accusations, Diane stood by him, though this loyalty would later become one of the more controversial aspects of her legacy. She worked in over 100 productions between film and television. In 1981, she received her second Oscar nomination for her role in Reds, Warren Beatty's epic film about journalist John Reed and the Russian Revolution. She played Louise Bryant, Reed's companion, in a performance that showcased her dramatic range. During the making of Reds, she and Beatty began a relationship, one of several high-profile romances with leading men of Hollywood. She also had a passionate relationship with Al Pacino, her Godfather co-star, who reportedly never wanted to marry her despite their deep connection. These relationships with some of Hollywood's most eligible bachelors made headlines, but Diane never let them define her. From romantic comedies like Something's Gotta Give alongside Jack Nicholson, where she was once again nominated for an Oscar, to profound dramas like Marvin's Room, sharing the screen with Meryl Streep and Leonardo DiCaprio. In Marvin's Room, she played a woman suffering from cancer, a role far removed from the hysterical bourgeois characters she often portrayed, showing a depth and vulnerability that earned her another Oscar nomination. She made audiences laugh in The First Wives Club in 1996, playing one of 3 divorced women seeking revenge on their ex-husbands, a film that became a cultural touchstone about female friendship and empowerment. In Father of the Bride in 1991 and its sequel, she played the perfect suburban mother, bringing warmth and humor to what could have been a stereotypical role. In Baby Boom in 1987, she was a high-powered executive who inherits a baby and moves to the country, once again challenging conventions about what women's lives should look like. Her versatility was impressive, transitioning between comedy and drama with a naturalness that few artists can achieve. She had that rare talent of making you completely believe in every character, of making you feel like you knew those women on screen. Whether she was playing a mobster's wife, a neurotic romantic, a cancer patient, or a successful businesswoman, Diane brought the same authenticity and emotional truth to every role. She made it look effortless, but behind that apparent ease was years of dedication, preparation, and an instinctive understanding of human nature. And the tributes she received during her lifetime prove how loved and respected she was. In 2017, the American Film Institute granted her the Lifetime Achievement Award, one of the greatest recognitions an artist can receive. On that emotional evening, it was Woody Allen himself who presented the award, joking about her timeless style and unique personality, quipping that she looked like the woman in A Streetcar Named Desire who comes to take Blanche away. Upon accepting the honor, Diane didn't give a traditional speech. Instead, she sang Seems Like Old Times, the same song she had sung in Annie Hall decades before, making the entire audience emotional with that nostalgic and authentic performance. It was a moment that captured everything about her: playful, unexpected, deeply moving, and completely herself. She won 2 Golden Globes for Something's Gotta Give, was nominated for the Oscar 4 times throughout her career, and received countless other honors that recognized not just her talent, but her lasting cultural impact. But what made Diane truly special went beyond awards and iconic roles. She chose never to marry,
defying society's expectations in
an era when women, especially famous women, were expected to settle down with a husband. She herself told the story that in high school, a boy told her that one day she would make a good wife, and she immediately thought, "I don't want to be a wife, no." In 2019, she spoke about this choice, saying she was glad she never married, that it simply wasn't for her. At 50 years old, she adopted her 2 children alone, Dexter and Duke, because motherhood was a thought she had cultivated for a very long time. She said motherhood wasn't an urge she couldn't resist, but rather a thought she'd been thinking about for years, so she plunged in. She didn't follow the script that Hollywood or society wrote for women. She wrote her own. And in doing so, she gave permission for millions of other women to do the same. She showed that a woman could be successful, fulfilled, and complete without a husband, that there were many paths to happiness and meaning. Behind the glamour and success, Diane faced her own battles. She struggled with bulimia, an eating disorder that she spoke openly about later in life. In 2014, she told Dr. Oz that she was an addict in recovery, that she would always be an addict, and that she had an addictive nature. During her battle with bulimia, she would consume up to 20,000 calories and then force herself to throw it up. Her honesty about these struggles made her even more relatable and human to her fans. She also battled cancer twice. In her 20s, she overcame basal cell carcinoma, and decades later, she was diagnosed with squamous cell cancer, which required 2 surgeries to remove. She attributed it to family history, but she faced these health challenges with the same grace and determination she brought to everything else in her life. In recent years, Diane continued working, proving that aging could be fun, fabulous, and even absurd in the best possible sense. She appeared in Book Club in 2018, and its sequel, Book Club: The Next Chapter, films that celebrated older women's sexuality, friendship, and continued zest for life. She starred in Summer Camp in 2024, alongside Kathy Bates and Alfre Woodard, her final on-screen role, once again playing a woman who refuses to let age define her limitations. She even appeared in a Justin Bieber music video for his song Ghost in 2021, showing her willingness to stay current and embrace new generations of artists. She made it seem like being an older woman in Hollywood wasn't an obstacle, but a new and exciting phase of life. Her collaboration with director Nancy Meyers in Something's Gotta Give set that tone more than 2 decades ago, showing that mature women also had powerful stories to tell, that romance and passion don't end at a certain age, and that women over 50 can be sexy, complicated, and fascinating. Friends who saw Diane in her final weeks noticed changes. Longtime friend Carol Bayer Sager told People magazine that when she saw Diane 2 or 3 weeks before her death, she was shocked by her appearance. Diane had lost a significant amount of weight and looked very thin. Sager hadn't seen her often over the past year because Diane had left Los Angeles following wildfires earlier in the year. Her house had been damaged inside and everything needed to be cleaned, so she had gone to Palm Springs. On that Saturday morning, October 11th, emergency services received a call about a person down at Diane's Los Angeles home around 8 in the morning. She was transported by ambulance to a local hospital, but she didn't survive. The official cause of death hasn't been revealed, leaving her family, friends, and millions of fans grappling with the sudden loss. In the last 48 hours since her departure, the world has united to celebrate her. Nancy Meyers wrote a heartfelt tribute on Instagram, saying these past 48 hours haven't been easy, but seeing all the tributes to Diane has been a comfort. As a movie lover, she felt we had lost a giant, a brilliant actress who time and again laid herself bare to tell our stories. As a woman, she lost a friend of almost 40 years who sometimes felt like a sister because they shared so many truly memorable experiences. As a filmmaker, she lost a connection with an actress that one can only dream of.
Keanu Reeves, her partner in Something's Gotta Give, described her as a total professional, very nice to him, a generous artist, and a very special and unique person. He remembered how cool it was to watch her and Jack Nicholson together, seeing the history they shared and the fondness and love they had for each other. Woody Allen wrote an essay in the Free Press saying that it's grammatically incorrect to say most unique, but all rules of grammar and anything else are suspended when talking about Diane Keaton. Reese Witherspoon called her a truly original person. Jane Fonda said it's hard to believe. Steve Martin, Bette Midler, Goldie Hawn, and so many others expressed their love and admiration for the woman who left an indelible mark on their lives. Social media flooded with tributes from fans, fellow actors, directors, and people whose lives she had touched without ever meeting them. Everyone had their favorite Diane Keaton moment, their favorite film, their favorite quote. Diane Keaton wasn't just a great actress. She was a force of nature, a woman who showed the world that you can be quirky, authentic, vulnerable, and strong all at the same time. She taught us that there isn't just one way to be a woman, to be an artist, to be human. She accepted people as they were, something not every artist manages to do. This made her doubly generous, first because she gave us her own delightful vision of how to live, and second because she never demanded that we follow her path. She just showed us it was possible to have one. Think of fashion designers who have an urgent idea about how the world ought to look and feel, which gives them their culture-shaping power, but can also make them seem dismissive toward people who don't fit their vision. Diane, in her own way, had as strong a sense of style as Karl Lagerfeld, but not a single person who spoke up after her death remembered her as anything but open, welcoming, and kind. When news of her death reached the world on Saturday morning, something broke in millions of hearts. She still seemed young to so many of us, still seemed to have so much more to give. She still seemed spiritually middle-aged, but then she'd seemed sort of spiritually middle-aged even in her 20s, when she made being spiritually middle-aged look like the coolest thing a person could be. But the truth is that Diane Keaton had already given us everything. She gave us decades of brilliant performances, unforgettable cinematic moments, inspiration and courage. She showed us it's possible to age with grace and humor, that it's possible to be vulnerable and brave, that it's possible to make your own choices and live on your own terms. She showed us that there isn't just one way to be strong and be soft, between being serious and being silly, between being a star and being deeply, authentically human. Today, as the world says goodbye to her, we don't just mourn the loss of a great actress. We mourn the loss of a free spirit, of a woman who illuminated the world with her authenticity. We mourn the loss of someone who made us feel less alone in our quirks and insecurities, who showed us that being different isn't just okay, it's beautiful. But her legacy remains in every film she made, in every woman who felt encouraged to be herself, in every person who learned it's possible to be different and still be loved. Diane Keaton deserved every award, every tribute, every moment of recognition she received. But more than that, she deserved to be remembered exactly as she is being now, as a legend, a pioneer, a complete artist, and above all, as an extraordinary person who made the world a more interesting and beautiful one.
Place simply by existing in it. Leave a comment below and tell us which Diane Keaton project you like the most. Are you enjoying this story about Diane Keaton? Then help the channel grow by subscribing. Look, 94.8% of the people who watch these videos are still not subscribed to the channel. If you're part of that group, take the chance and subscribe now. It's free, and that way you'll keep receiving amazing stories from TV shows we still miss a lot. Oh, and don't forget, at the end of the video, you'll find more stories like this one. Her films will continue to be watched and loved by new generations. Young women will discover Annie Hall and see themselves in that awkward, charming character. People going through difficult times will find comfort in her performances. Fashion designers will continue to be inspired by her timeless style. And somewhere, a young girl watching The Godfather or Something's Gotta Give will decide that she too can be exactly who she is, that she doesn't have to fit into anyone else's idea of what she should be. That is Diane Keaton's true legacy. Not just the films or the awards, but the permission she gave all of us to be ourselves, fully and unapologetically. Rest in peace, Diane. You will be eternally remembered, eternally loved, eternally Annie Hall, eternally ours. Thank you for showing us how to live authentically, how to age gracefully, and how to leave the world better than we found it. You were, and will always be, truly one of a kind.